What is a simple sentence? Don't you just love reading a good book? Great authors know how to keep their readers really interested in the story. They know that good writing has style. Want to know one secret to having great writing style? Well, one way to become a great writer and add style is to vary or change the types of sentences you use. A sentence is a group of words that expresses a statement, question, command, or wish. A sentence is a group of words that contains a complete thought. It makes complete sense on its own. There are 3 types of sentences: simple, compound, and complex. Every sentence has 2 parts, a subject and a predicate. A subject tells who or what the sentence is about. It contains a noun or pronoun and the words describing the noun or pronoun. The predicate is the part of the sentence that tells something about the subject. It contains a verb and all the words related to the verb. Let's look at this short sentence. Tim talks. If we break it down, the subject is Tim. The predicate itself is the verb talks. The sentence Tim talks is considered a simple sentence. It has a subject and a predicate. A simple sentence is a single independent clause, and it expresses one single complete thought. A simple sentence contains just one independent clause. What is an independent clause? It is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. Let's look at another simple sentence. My friends and I are playing soccer. Even though this sentence has more than one subject, my friends and I, there is still only one main independent clause, so it is considered a simple sentence. It is considered an independent clause because it makes sense on its own. Simple sentences are the building blocks of writing. What is a compound sentence? When you want to express one idea, write a simple sentence. But what if you wanted to make your writing more interesting by combining 2 or more related ideas into a sentence? That's when you would write a compound sentence. A compound sentence contains 2 or more independent clauses, which we can also call simple sentences. Let's look at this sentence. I broke my arm, so I can't play basketball today. In a compound sentence, the 2 independent clauses are joined with a comma and a coordinating conjunction. A conjunction joins words and sentences together. Coordinating conjunctions are the words for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. If we look at our sample sentence, we should notice 2 clues that let us know it is a compound sentence. First, each clause in the sentence, I broke my arm and I can't play basketball today, can stand on its own. Each expresses a complete thought. Second, these 2 independent clauses are joined by a comma and the coordinating conjunction, so. Here's a fun trick. One quick way to remember the coordinating conjunctions is to look at the first letter of each of these conjunctions, which spells fanboys. Easy to remember, right? Let's look at a compound sentence with fanboys in action. She was tired and she had a headache. You can see that the first independent clause is, she was tired. It is an independent clause because it has a subject, she, and predicate, was tired, and it expresses a complete thought. How did we join that first independent clause, she was tired, with the second independent clause, she had a headache. We added a comma after the word tired, then added the conjoining conjunction and. By combining these two simple sentences, our writing becomes more interesting to a reader. With a compound sentence, it is important to remember that the part of the sentence before the conjunction and the part of the sentence after the conjunction would make sense on its own. Let's take a closer look by making a compound sentence out of two simple sentences. How might we combine these two simple sentences into a compound sentence? Tom ate the green beans. He didn't like them. We could use a comma and the coordinating conjunction but. Now our sentence would read, Tom ate the green beans, but he didn't like them. When it comes to writing and identifying compound sentences, remember that you will have two independent clauses joined by one of the fanboys. What is a complex sentence? We have one more sentence type that we can use to make our writing interesting. Complex sentences. Like a compound sentence, a complex sentence also combines two or more related ideas into a single sentence. But a complex sentence is different from a compound sentence in two important ways. First, where a compound sentence is made up of two independent clauses, a complex sentence has at least one independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. The dependent clauses get their name because they need the main clause to give meaning to the sentence. They do not express a complete thought when they stand alone. Let's look at this example. Since the water was warm, it was perfect for swimming. The independent clause in this sentence is, it was perfect for swimming. We know it is an independent clause because it expresses a complete thought and it has a subject, it, and a predicate, was perfect for swimming. Let's look at the first part of the sentence. The words, since the water was warm, is a dependent clause. How do we know? Well, those words don't express a complete thought. Said by themselves, we are wondering what happened because the water was warm. That dependent clause needs the independent clause, it was perfect for swimming, to give it meaning. Here's the second way that a compound sentence is different from a complex sentence. Do you remember that we discovered that a compound sentence joins two related ideas using coordinating conjunctions? Well, in a complex sentence, the two related ideas are joined by words called subordinating conjunctions. Here are some examples of subordinating conjunctions that are often used to connect related ideas in complex sentences. After, although, because, before, since, until, when, and while. In a complex sentence, a subordinating conjunction is used at the beginning of a dependent clause. If the subordinating conjunction and dependent clause is at the beginning of the sentence, you must use a comma when you join it to the independent clause. But if the subordinating conjunction and its dependent clause come after the independent clause, you don't need a comma. It might sound complicated, but it really isn't. Let's take a look. Here's an example. Since I have no milk, I'll go to the store. The subordinating conjunction since is the first word in the dependent clause, since I have no milk. How do we know that since I have no milk is a dependent clause? Well, that phrase doesn't express a complete thought. Complex sentences sentences help us join our ideas in more exciting ways. We are left wondering, what will happen since you have no milk? In this sentence, the dependent clause came before the independent clause, so we need to use a comma after it. Let's write this same idea a different way. I'll go to the store since I have no milk. In that sentence, the subordinating conjunction is found in the middle of the sentence. The independent clause, I'll go to the store, came before the dependent clause, since I have no milk. So, no comma is needed between the two parts of this complex sentence. Review. Now that we have learned about simple, compound, and complex sentences, I'll bet you are ready for the sentence challenge. Let's look at some sample sentences and decide what type of sentence each one is. Ready? Number 1. She ran across the park. What type of sentence is this? And how do we know? Well, it expresses one main idea, and it is a complete thought. So, sentence number 1 is a simple sentence. Number 2. My dog likes to run in the park, and he also likes to sleep on the couch. What do you think about this sentence? How many complete ideas are expressed here? Yes, 2 ideas. 1, my dog likes to run in the park, and 2, he also likes to sleep on the couch. This sentence has 2 independent clauses. It also has the coordinating conjunction and. So this sentence must be a compound sentence. Here's sentence 3. We want to see the waterfall because it is so majestic. What clues tell you what type of sentence we have here? First, I see an independent clause. We want to see the waterfall. Then, I see a subordinating conjunction, the word because. Finally, I see a dependent clause, because it is so majestic. I know that is a dependent clause because it doesn't express a complete thought. So, this sentence has one independent clause and a dependent clause that begins with a subordinating conjunction. It is a complex sentence. Let's do one more to really challenge ourselves. Number 4. Antonio wanted to ride the roller coaster, but he didn't have enough tickets. What kind of sentence is this? And how do we know? Well, I see 2 independent clauses here. 2 complete sentences. The first is Antonio wanted to ride the roller coaster. The second is he didn't have enough tickets. Each one is a complete thought. So I have 2 independent clauses in this sentence. I also see the coordinating conjunction but in this sentence. All of these clues let me know that this is a compound sentence. Knowing the 3 types of sentences will help you to make your writing more interesting. How will you use different sentence types to spice up your writing? Thinking question. Who is your favorite author? Why do you like his or her writing style?